We are lucky to have Eric Opoku join us. He's the Minister for Agric. And so we're going to ask him to react to these 2 points and other issues. Good morning, Honorable Minister. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Bernard.
I'm back on my favorite topic. So let's deal with the Bono guy first. He said there is an egg glut in the system, partially because it's cheaper to bring in products from Côte d'Ivoire because of the exchange rate, and therefore they have a lot of eggs they don't know what to do with. Has this come to your attention, and what is your comment on that?
Yes. I think last week we had a letter from the Greater Accra Poultry Farmers Association. And in the letter, they stated that every year between August and September, but this year's glut is unprecedented. It is going beyond November, and they envisage that looking at the mass participation, a lot of people participating in the poultry space, it will even go beyond December. Now, the problem they have is that we are unable to clear all the investment they have made in that space will go waste. So they were pleading for immediate intervention. Fortunately, the issue was raised in Cabinet, and His Excellency, the President, directed the Ministry of Education to ensure that the glut is cleared to support the Feed Ghana, the school feeding program. And so if you listen to me on Saturday on Newsfire, I think some discussions went on, and I called in to clarify. So during the clarification, I stated that the ministry is now preparing to clear the glut. So that one, the directive has been issued. It is being enforced. So very soon, they will see the ministry on the field procuring the excess eggs from the market. It is not only from the associations that we are getting the information. Some of the farmers have personally come to us to discuss some of these issues with us. I recall last week, a farmer came with the videos of the eggs that he has at his source. And then he indicated that based on the campaign, he expanded his activities. And this is the result. So he was looking to us to immediately intervene. It was based on some of the issues that we gathered from the farmers we interacted with, that the issue was raised in Cabinet, and a determination has been made on that. And so, Bernard, relating to the glut, I think the issue is addressed now.
Okay,
what I've told you.
So let me just get clarity. The president has directed food buffer stock to buy the excess rice, maize, and eggs, not just.
No, food buffer stock. Buffer stock is doing the rice, the maize, gari, the grains. But this one is coming from the Ministry of Education, because they are directly responsible for the school feeding. So they will have to determine the agency they will use to procure the egg. That one, it doesn't come to my it's not part of my mandate. It falls directly under the purview of the Ministry of Education. So they will have to determine the means through which they will procure the egg.
Wonderful. But on the grains, can you confirm that the buffer stock has started buying these grains?
In fact, as we speak, the initial 100 million Ghana cedis given to them has been fully utilized, and the quantities have been made available to me. In fact, I've gone to the stores to look at the quantities they have, and I also have the paper information relating to how much they have procured and everything. And we have also said that another 100 million has been provided for them to go to the field to continue with the purchases. Then what happened was that, in the south, their farming season starts around March. So harvesting takes place around June, July. And then in the northern sector, they start theirs soon. So normally, the harvest happens in the southern sector earlier than that of the northern sector. So when we had the glut in the southern sector, that was where they targeted initially. And now they are moving to the northern part, because even the northern part, they are now doing the harvest. They are now harvesting. And so this is the most appropriate time for them to move in there. But let us appreciate the fact that This is the first time in our history that the government of Ghana has decided to intervene in the market to procure the excess and build food buffer for our nation. It's never happened. And when our people went to the field, you know, when we got the information, you have to act on data. How much are we looking at in terms of glut? Is it the case that people are saying, oh, there's glut, and then you move into action immediately? No. You send the technical people to the field to ascertain the volumes to be procured. And now, from the figures we are receiving, we need around 500 million Ghana cedis to be able to clear it. So we had a meeting last week with World Food Program and some of our donor partners to see how collectively we can respond to this crisis. If we are able to deal with it perfectly, it will encourage our farmers to reinvest in the farming activities because farming then becomes profitable. But if you don't act and we allow this food to go waste, it is a huge disincentive. And people will be demotivated to invest further in agriculture. And that's why we are more concerned about it. So we told them that, look, measures are underway. They should be patient. We are now going through the processes to ensure that the buyers get to the field immediately. Buffer stock is ever ready to do that. And then, Bernard, because you post this person, I will arrange for you to go and look at our stores where we have procured these items and where we are keeping them. It is very important.
Very important. Now, let's talk about the Nkoko Nkitinkiti that you are launching on Wednesday. Two issues there. If people have produced eggs that they can't sell, it will obviously discourage new entrants into the poultry business, whether they are doing broilers or layers. That's number one. Number two, Johnson Yeboah, Secretary of the Bono Poultry Farmers, say that they have not been consulted in the discussions around the Nkoko Nkitinkiti at both the regional level and the national level. What's your comment?
In fact, it is rather unfortunate that my brother is making this issue on your program. I don't know whether the people we have engaged with are not the right people to be engaged. Because people came here, they introduced themselves as leaders of their association. And in fact, they are big-time poultry farmers in this country. I have personally visited some of the farms that they have. And then we discussed a lot of their challenges together. In fact, all the issues confronting them were brought to fore. We gathered our technical people. The first day they came, we couldn't have proper discussions. So we postponed it. And they've been here on 3 separate occasions. But you see, the poultry thing we are doing, people must get it clear. It is not just about Nkoko Nkitinkiti. Nkoko Nkitinkiti is just the backyard poultry we are engaging in. We have another program under which we are targeting existing poultry farmers. You know, last year in 2024, some of the poultry farmers were selected and they were given some bears and some support. We have the list of all of them. Under the arrangement, they were supposed to pay back. So we said, look, let's engage with those people. Let's see how they can pay back because they were given some quantities of bears plus other logistics, but after harvest, they haven't paid. And we are looking at how we can get them to repay. Then we are expanding that one. We are expanding to the extent that we want to identify 50 of the well-established, experienced poultry farmers in Ghana, and then offer them the support they require to be able to expand because they have the experience, they have the capacity, they have the facilities and everything to be able to engage in commercial farming. And then after that, we have what we call the medium-scale type. That is where we engage with those people who are doing from 1,000 to 3,000, build their capacity, ensure that they engage in sustainable production. All that we are doing is just to close the gap between supply and demand. But what we are doing now, we are dealing with the backyard poultry farming. That has nothing to do with the commercial farmers. It has nothing to do with
so
farmers.
there are 10 who come on a different program.
In fact, the technical people are already on the field. We are selecting the beneficiaries based on their capacities in their various places. So in Brahabo, for instance, the people have submitted their reports. They have gone to their places of work. They have identified those people we can work with. Now we have to engage with them based on the information that we have before we roll out that one. But this one is just the Nkoko Nkitinkiti. But let me say this, Bernard, we are fully aware of the marketing problems that will ensue. I'm saying will ensue because of the campaign we are making and the investment we are making. Because number one, as part of the Feed Ghana program, we are campaigning for mass participation in the project. The campaign itself is yielding some dividends. We have a lot of people participating now in the space. I am part of it. I'm also a poultry farmer. I've just started. A lot of people are on board. I have a lot of ministers also on board, former ministers, former MPs, many people, including journalists. They are all participating. The cumulative effect is that at the end of the day, we are going to have so much on the market, and we are going to have glut. So as policymakers, we are thinking about the marketing aspect of it. That is why we are establishing, together with the private sector, we are establishing a poultry processing center at the Chim to buy from the farmers, process, and then make it available to the market. And then we have also decided to select some of the existing private processors, those who have the capacities, to see the kind of support we can extend to them under a specific project being implemented and being funded by our donors, so that they can have the capacity to also expand their processing capacity. When all these things are done, then along the chain, everything will be set. And these complaints will not come. Normally people resort to the media to mount pressure on government to act when they think that they are not being heard. But Bernard, you know, we are in the offices. When they write to us, we respond. It is unfortunate. I don't know Mr. Yeboah personally. I haven't met with him. But it is unfortunate for him to indicate that they've written severally to the ministry, and the ministry has not responded. It is something I will not do. Bernard, you know me personally. I will not do that. Even if he had taken the decision to call, even if he had called me, I would have responded and then discuss matters together.
Okay.
Because we are in this game as people, we succeed together, we fail together.
So let me get this straight. There will be another program for the large-scale farmers different from Nkoko Nkitinkiti. Nkoko Nkitinkiti is for people like myself and Godfred and you who are entering informally into the backyard farming of poultry. But yes, the program for the large-scale farmers like Johnson and his team is a different program that will be launched later. This is what you are telling me.
Yes, that's a different program altogether. We have three phases. The Nkoko Nkitinkiti one, we are just giving some few birds to the households plus feed, and then we ask the veterinary people to follow up and ensure that we protect this investment. We just want to stimulate interest of individuals in the poultry business because the gap is too huge. It's been done as well. It has been successful, and we want to do same to make sure.
So I cannot question your manifesto promise, but I can question the policy because you already admitted here that there's a lot of interest in poultry, which is why we have the glut. So why should your first poultry intervention be to stimulate more interest among informal people when there's already enough interest that is leading to a glut? Shouldn't the focus be on
the glut we are witnessing? We are witnessing it as part of the campaign we have made under the Feed Ghana. Because last year, we didn't witness this kind of glut. And all of you were complaining about rising prices of eggs. But this year, we started as early as February, campaigning that Ghana imports a lot of poultry products and that there is huge gap. So we want many people to be part of the process to resolve the challenge. Many of the farmers, people who had no knowledge at all, came to the ministry asking for technical support to be able to participate in that space. And the result is what we are witnessing now. That is the result.
So you are saying that you took office in February, that the policies you intended to implement have so succeeded that there's a glut we are facing.
You intended. Bernard, listen to the policy very well. You know, the entire agricultural space is private sector led. What government does is to create the enabling environment for the private sector to actively participate. Now, the first leg of our program is to campaign that people who have money should invest in that area and many other areas. So we started the campaign. I can give you one example. One example is that during the campaign, somebody who has completed nursing training school and has not been posted came to the office that is interested in the poultry business. Now, what can he do? So we supported him. He raised 1,000 birds. He sold them broilers. Now he's taking his money. Now he's developed the interest in the space because he tells me that even those who have been in the nursing business for over 10 years, they are unable to show $1 billion, 1 billion cities, OCDs, 100,000 OCDs. But within that 3 months, now he has 100,000 Ghana cities there. So that business is lucrative and that he wants to expand. This is what I'm talking about. Once you start the campaign and people participate, you anticipate that some of these things would happen. But still, the gap exists because we still have imported products on our market. And that is why we are saying that the campaign alone cannot resolve it. It is the decision of government to directly put into the market 10 million birds this year. And 3 million is meant for the household backyard project. And another 3 million for the medium scale. And then 4 million for the existing commercial farmers.
And is the focus on this for broilers or layers?
In fact, both.
Because the glut is for eggs. I'm not sure we have a glut for broilers. I think the broiler situation is a lot of imports.
That is why I'm telling you that. You see, the glut we have, it is good because now we are arranging to buy it for our school children. Is it not good for our school children to have access to eggs, to eat eggs in schools? Is it not the best for us?
Oh, once you give the farmers the right price, they will be happy to sell. I'm not sure. And I'm sure the Minister of Education will determine what price they are using because there's a price issue there.
That was what we did. Rice, we set up a committee, including the peasant farmers, all the stakeholders met and determined the price. So they will also come out with the price at which they will buy it. We do so to protect the interests of the farmers as well as the consumers. So the impression should not be created that we don't know what we are doing. We are conscious of whatever we are doing. But the fact that we are doing Nkoko Nkitinkiti, supporting the smallholder farmers, the snowme or the backyard poultry project, doesn't mean that all the commercial farmers must be consulted on that.
No problem. Where are you getting the day-old chicks from?
Please, even the consultation, let me indicate that we have met with them 3 times. And there are a lot of information we have received from them that we cannot share with the public. That's why I'm surprised that my brother from my own region decided to come on air to say some of these things.
No problem.
Because a lot have been done in the sector.
No problem. I think you've explained the project to be.
I'm coming. A lot have been done in the sector. A lot have been mismanaged in the sector. And we are trying to do our best possible to create that conducive atmosphere for both producers and then buyers.
All right. I think you've explained that enough. I wanted to do two quick things. The day-old chicks you are supplying for the Nkoko Nkitinkiti, are they imported or are they locally produced?
In fact, the local producers who are supplying will be there Wednesday to testify. The local producers who are supplying from Ghana here, they will be there to testify. And then even the feed we are procuring to support this, the producers are from Ghana. They have their embossment and everything on the back. So Bernard, you see everything.
Okay, so you are saying that. Let me get it clear. Are you saying that there are some local producers who will benefit, or that all of it is locally produced?
In fact, all of it. That is the arrangement we have made. And that's why I'm telling you that Wednesday, you see the suppliers there. And then you also see those who are supplying the feed.
Okay.
Because we want to domesticate, grow the local economy.
All right.
Make sure our people, but it is only when they do not have the capacity that we ask the suppliers to go outside and then bring them.
All right. Of course, because this is for smallholder and local day-old chick hatcheries and local feed will be possible. But I do know that when it comes to large-scale farmers, they still import day-old chicks as they do chicken feed or the poultry feed. This is correct, right?
Yes, some of them do. But now, we have some local guys who have the poultry feed processing factory. And they are doing so well. I personally visited A2's place in Kumasi. A2 has installed the equipment. He has silos for 30,000 soya, 30,000 maize, and he's into poultry feed processing. Huge capacity to do that. I think he's having buyback arrangement with the farmers for them to produce the soya and then the maize for them to produce.
Okay, so what percent, honorable, I want to make it easy for us. What percentage of our poultry feed as an industry is imported and what percentage is produced locally? Do you know?
As we speak now, I don't have the figures because I'm sitting in the car. I don't have the figures offhand.
But I'm sure you know it will be useful. It will be useful going forward for us to have that, so that we can say that when Eric Opoku took over as Minister of Agric, maybe 60% of poultry feed was imported, 40% was local. By the time he handed over, the figure had changed. These are numbers that are critical. If the kind of value chain you are discussing, we can track it. Correct?
Excellent position. Excellent position.
So
I will make that information available.
And also make the same available for the day-old chicks too. Because we do know that a lot of the large-scale producers also import the day-old chicks.
Yes, that one too. We are aware of some emerging companies that are into that. And we are also working with the private sector to establish a hatchery. That is also in the pipeline. And very soon you'll hear about it.
Good.
And that's why I'm saying that, look, when we get to the implementation of the commercial one, all these people will be brought on board. We'll sit down and look at what we can do together. In the meantime, we have had a lot of discussions with the commercial farmers because some of them, they have some peculiar challenges that we are trying to address to enable them be part of the process. And so, Bernard, there shouldn't be some of these, talks about people not being heard, people not being invited, people not being consulted.
No problem. No problem. I think you've explained that. I have a last question. On Saturday, I went to a place near Koforidua called Otariso, and I was at the 10th anniversary of Legacy Crop Improvement Center, one of the few local producers of seed. They have commercial maize, soybean, and cowpea. They are one of the few private companies in Ghana producing seed. Again, a lot of our seeds are imported, improved seeds. Is that something you are concerned about as minister? Because when you come to food sovereignty, your seed is your raw material for all production. So you can't empower a farmer if he has to depend on external forces for his seed all the time. What is your pledge around the seed production sector?
Bernard, seed independence is the foundation for food sovereignty. Without seed sovereignty, there's no way you can have food security. And so what we have done is that we have sat down with CSIR and the other research institutions. They have developed varieties that can do very well, thrive under our different ecological zones. The only problem is that we need to multiply them and make them available to our farmers so that they can produce those varieties for us to power all that we are doing. In fact, as for rice, a lot has been done. I wouldn't want to talk about that. Maize too, they have introduced some varieties to us, and our technical people have accepted them as varieties for some ecological zones. And we are supplying those seeds to the farmers. You recall that this year, at the beginning of the season, we distributed seeds free of charge to the farmers. We did so intentional. That is intentional investment. And then we are also saying that we'll work with them, the multipliers, make sure they multiply the seeds, and then we make it available and affordable to the farmers in all their places. Without this, we cannot be successful.
All right.
So a lot has been done in that direction. But what I want to advise is that, look, every businessman must know how to get the raw materials required for his operations. Once you have a factory, you want to go into poultry, you must understand where you are going to get your feed from. If you set up a feed processing factory, you must know where you are getting the soya bean from, where you are getting the maize from. Now, the maize farmers are complaining. They are not getting price. Maize is a raw material for the production of poultry feed. So what are the feed producers doing? Do they have the capacity to buy, store them, and then use them throughout the year? That is one issue that we are looking at. If they don't have the capacity, what can we do with them for them to build capacities, storage capacities, to be able to store them? Then again, if they do that, that will even clear the glut that we are witnessing in the grain sector, because they will procure the maize and the farmers will be relieved. Then when it comes to soya bean, as I speak with you, soya bean farmers have sent a petition to us that they have produced the soya bean, they are not getting the market. So what we are seeking to do is to bring them together. They are even insisting that we allow the foreigners in to come and clear the gap. And we are saying that if the buyers here have the capacity and they want to buy for the processing, why not? If your raw materials are cheaper, it will reflect in the pricing of the feed, and which will also reflect in the price of the poultry product. These are the things that we are looking at.
All right.
So we are doing a facilitation to connect them together so that the nation can fully benefit from these grants that we are witnessing.
All right. Even though you haven't invited me to the Nkoko Nkitinkiti, I'm sending my team there to cover it for you. I'm also inviting you to our Agri Fair November 28th, for Sutherland Children's Park, to encourage people to buy locally produced food items. So I hope to see you there on the 28th as well. I know you'll come.
Bernard, even though you have not officially invited me and you are announcing my invitation on your air, I will be there. I also expect that I have not officially written to you, and I'm also using the same medium to invite you. You also reciprocate by also showing up.
You don't have a problem at all. Thank you so much, Eric Opoku.